baby outfit.
You're the baby.
Hello, everybody. We are here. Look at this luscious goddess I got. Oh my God. I'm sitting here going, I don't wear these pinks and I wear pink, but I don't wear like pink and light green and light blue. And I figured, why am I wearing this? Because the goddess sitting next to me. Oh my God. Noelle
It's
Chaco.
like cotton candy rainbow sherbet.
It is. And you are like cotton candy, rainbow sherbet. God is carrying a little, oh, she's carrying
Thank
this
you.
little love muffin right now. 4 weeks, 6 days at 46. She's a hands-on healer, practitioner, massage intuitive. She's got the body. Last year, she was in this thing called, what was it called? 40 to 40, over
Fab
40
over 40. Fab over
fab.
40. I'm going to do it again this year, too. It's coming up in
My
October.
God. And she did this thing, okay, and I think it was like her preeness for making her look like she's 20, y'all. You'll see her. She's glowing. She's all like, woo. So anyway,
Literally.
without
Thank
further
you.
ado, Miss Noelle
Yeah.
is living in the intuitive life, and she's always lived there, but she is the direct display of what can happen at any age and at 46, and she's living the life and she's looking this like
Yeah.
ooh. So she's living in this ooh. So tell us the story, like just a little bit of where you've been and your wellness challenge, and then end it where you are today. And yeah, so you got the floor, unless I need to interject any questions. Go ahead, sweetness.
Okay, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I do have notes, so I don't leave anything out. But I started my yoga journey years ago in junior college, and I fell in love with it. After that, I became yoga teacher certified. So I took a 2-month intensive program, and there was part of the regimen was no drinking, no smoking, no meat, and no sex. Like literally, my body is my temple, right? So we had to treat it that way, and that's where I learned the breath and meditation practices that opened up and cleared my vessel, and then my spiritual, intuitive healing gifts came in, and I wasn't completely aware of it. Then after that, I went to school for massage therapy, and I didn't realize, because you don't know. When you don't know, you don't know. But when I would massage people, I would want them to feel better. So I was like actually absorbing their energy and becoming like sick. And then I learned how to like, you know, ground and block and not absorb, but like allow myself to be the instrument, and then for like the energy to flow through instead of like taking people's stuff. Um, so then after that, let's
Can I
see.
ask you? I just want to interject right there. So I find, and I've heard that people who don't know how to do that, like you said, you take on their energy. Sometimes you might pick up some of their vibrational sickness patterns. And then I've also heard that they get like carpal tunnel or hand issues based on doing the body work on people and not expelling the energy. Is that true? Or what are your thoughts about
Sure,
that?
it can get stuck. Yeah, we're just like a freeway, a highway, or a hose or a tube. So if there's any clogs, things get stuck right and backed up like plumbing, like traffic. So yeah, you definitely have to clear, and that's part of what I do is clear people, help to clear people. I don't do it. It just, the energy does it, and then but it's when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I now allow people to come to me instead of like going out and finding people.
Love
Mhm.
it. So go ahead, continue the story.
The
And this is how you look when you don't carry everybody's stuff around you or on.
the law of allowance. So growing up, I experienced all the abuses, emotional, mental, physical, sexual abuse. Growing through that, on top of that, after I quit my so-called good job with LA Unified School District, I attempted my first entrepreneurship with a bunch of male partners. One of them I was in a reckless relation tango ship with. And he turned out to be like a narcissistic con artist. And then so after that, I had my biggest spiritual breakdown. I just lost my good job. I just left my good job and then lost this business, right? With all that I left for. And then I found agape. I practiced agape at Agape International Spiritual Center for about 6 years. I loved the choir. It was Choir Sunday when I first went. Miraculous story that happened. It's going to be in my book, which is coming out. It's called The Healer's Hypothesis. But I wanted to join the choir, so I did. Manifested that. Practiced there for about 6 years, and then Michael Beckwith, Reverend, he opened up the 6 a.m. meditation, so I started going to that. And then I started working with some of the vendors. So I was staying there all day, and then eventually it became like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every Sunday. And in the evening, I did A Course in Miracles for about 3 years. So that was all part of my spiritual training. And then after that, so a lot more stuff opened up with these gifts, right? And then after that, they moved. And then I was like, it's far away. Then I found Landmark Worldwide. So what Agape did was teach me the spiritual, and then what Landmark did was teach me like the practical. So putting those together, it's miraculous, you know, the balance. So those are my years of practice. I practiced.
I love it. It's
Landmark
so
for from 2017, and I'm currently in a seminar now.
Oh, okay.
What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying I love it. I love everything that you just said. And I love that you married or connected the spiritual with the practical. So perfect. And I have not done that Course of Miracles. So I think that's time. So go ahead. Go on and tell us more.
People would ask me, what is a Course in Miracles? Because we just invite people. And I was like, it's a course in miracles, like literally. And I have just been like, I was in Vegas one time. I manifested a trip that somebody would pay for and invite me to. And like, they called me and they were like, hey, what are you doing? And so I went on that trip to Vegas, and I was just chilling at the pool. And then this guy was trying to pick up on me and he was like, what do you do? And I was like, I practice the art of allowing, and I'm mastering manifesting. And he just looked at me like I was crazy.
I love it. It's not though, because people think that you can't do those things.
Yeah.
Right?
So he was like, yeah, they do. It's the ordinary world that we're, brought into. So I just looked at him and told him I'm a massage therapist. He can understand that language, Were you going to ask me something?
No, I just wanted you to expand. And I was just saying that people don't get that life can be as easy as you just said. Manifesting and living in your wants and desires, if it's for the better or greater good. Yeah. And that the universe really expires.
I believe that your word. Oh, you were frozen. No. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Your word is your wand, right? You think it and it happens. You speak it and it happens. And sometimes we're not even aware of our thoughts. And then stuff is just happening. But when you become present and you become aware and you take yourself kind of out of that world, the whole busy, lots of things can open up. So I've manifested so many things, and that's pretty much what my book is about. Even this, I'm 46 years young right now. The cutoff age for surrogates is around 37, 38 is pushing it, right? I manifested this really healthy personal training couple, and at this age. It was a match. We just came into each other's lives like, in sync. And I had also interviewed with like 4 other couples, I think, and none of them worked out. And before that, back up before that, I was with a clinic. They matched me with 3 parents. One was in Paradise, where the houses and whole city burned down. One was in Italy, and then the other was in Japan. So the relationship that I have now is very close and comforting. They're in this state and nearby, and it's it's everything I wanted and desired. Like, I get, very well taken care of, and I get healthy meals made for me, and it's really delightful. And it's been on my list of things to do, my banquet list, for over 15 years. Over 15 years. And then when I got into the clinic, the doctor was like making comments about my age. He made 2 comments. And I was like, I'm going to be nice right now, you know? And then at the end of the visit, he was like, I'm really impressed. You're healthier than most 30-year-olds that I see. And I was like, thank you. I've done a lot of work. So what I also had done was accumulated or manifested HPV, and then it got really bad and turned cancerous. And I had that also over about 15 years. And for the last 4 years ago, I figured out, I thought of how can I get rid of it? Because the doctors, they don't tell you you can get rid of it. You can, eliminate something. I won't go into stories about that in Western medicine, but I was determined. I made a choice, and then I asked and found out how to do it. So 4 years now, I've been negative for HPV. It's not cancerous. Healed my gut, which a lot of health issues come from the gut and the parasites that reside there and take over your mind and body. You're on mute.
So, okay, so speak to that. Everything is a decision. And when Nicole's speaking, she's speaking about herself and her journey.
Yeah.
And as listeners, it's your body, and you talk to your health provider. And if you're not hearing the things that you need to hear, we live in a country and then we live in a world where there are people out there that can help you find, or at least learn, or can teach you, like Nicole can, things that you can do that can help you. So I just wanted to say that, because people think that when one person tells you something, it is the only way, and it's not.
Yeah. 2 things come to mind. One is one of my favorite quotes from Henry Ford: whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're correct. And the second one is, all roads lead to Rome. So Rome is whatever you want it to be. And so just say it's right here, right? So you're coming from this way, somebody else is coming from this way. Everyone has their own path, and there's a way to get there. There's many, many ways to get there. Like Rev says, there's 8 billion people in the world, so there's 8 billion ways to do something, to do one thing, you know? You're on mute, right?
Well, if I don't keep myself on mute, I'm talking and yet getting all excited about what you're saying. So I would be interrupting you forever. So in order for me to be quiet, I gotta mute myself.
That's okay.
I love this. And then every time I look at you and see you, it's just like, oh, she's just so beautiful. And this is the key, folks, all of this. So listen, this is pearls of wisdom. So, okay, so 4 years free. And then now you've manifested this perfect couple that's close and taking care of you. And then, okay, so tell us next, what's happening with all of this, and
So
how.
you said
Go ahead.
You said in the beginning, I'm 4 weeks and 6 days pregnant, and at age 46, or
Yes.
yeah, years on Earth, and that without all these practices and beliefs and change of like thought and transformation and just living in that past old world, old way thinking, limits on possibility, and listening to what other people tell you and what they say, you can't do this, no, that's impossible. Just the naysayers, or the people who are just talking from their own point of view and perspective and not necessarily truth, you know? Um, when you learn to listen to yourself, which takes, some practice and getting in tune with, and, because the mind is a whole other playground. And a lot of
Yes,
us,
the mind is a whole nother playground. And I
yeah,
truly believe people are afraid to listen to themselves. I,
well, we experienced that with the pandemic, right? Everyone was forced to be in their homes, and I'm used to being in solace and solitude, like in meditation. So it was not a problem for me. But we seen the suicide rates go up, the crime, people abusive in their homes and things like that, right? Anxiety, all these things came up and out of people because they had to be in one place, and they didn't have the distractions anymore. The football games, all the sports, all the activities, amusement parks, things to do. So you don't have to really be with yourself. Distractions. So that, I don't know, to me seemed like evidence of like the devil's playground right here. Some people believe in religion. I believe in relationship. And for, some people believe in like heaven and hell, right? And I was introduced to the fact, or to the possibility, that heaven and hell could be right here in the mind, because you have this voice or the voices speaking to you like, no, you can't. I'm not good enough. All these negative nay things, right? And then, when you are successful and do these things, you're like, yeah, that's good, great. Acknowledge yourself and things like that. So when they're not in alignment, that's the fight between heaven and hell. And what
I
I'm
truly believe
really,
that.
really,
Yeah, I
the
believe that
biggest thing
too.
I'm discovering, yeah, right now, right at this current moment in this life journey, is that alignment is everything. And when we don't, when we feel something, tension or something nauseous or anxiety or something in our body, or the evidence that we don't feel good, right? It's our body, it's our temple's way of telling us that it's not in alignment. It's not seeing or believing what God sees or believes for me. So when I'm judging a person, or when I'm angry or something, looking at somebody like they did something wrong, they didn't do anything wrong. They did what they did, and I made it mean it's wrong or bad or whatever. And so if I have that fight within me, and I can, so I can get present, become aware of like just what's happening. And when I tune into alignment and let go of my judgments and let go of the assessment or the anger or whatever the emotion is, then I can become in alignment with God and see it for really what it is, and get the lesson and what it's showing me.
I love
My
that. That's perfect. That is actually, that is the way. that I live, and I'm listening to you going, oh, wow. And bringing it all the way back to like what people were going through during the pandemic,
Pandemic.
when people were forced to stay home. I live in a place on a street that has three houses. Two, I live in one, and a 75-year-old woman lives in on the other, and we're surrounded by nature. So I'm always by myself listening to I mean, there's music and there's birds and there's this and there's that. And sometimes I have guests, but the majority of the time I'm in creativity. So I hear you about that people who aren't used to that had a hard time with that over those 2 or 3 years. And so as you're talking now and speaking about being in alignment, I was talking to someone about her book, and I was telling her to do it in a specific way that's not a way that other people have told people to write a book. And the way that I was directing this person happened in an instant. It's like you could speak stuff, and it's really interesting how when we speak things, it comes to fruition. So as I was telling this woman that she couldn't see it, and then today I said, you know what I told you, I lived it for the last 48 hours. And she goes, what do you mean? And so I explained to her what was happening. And so it's the same for you. People aren't living your life. They see you as this beautiful goddess in front of them. And I'm sure they're going to want to know deeper and more about how you became not just a surrogate, but I think it's how you had your body in this position to be a 30-year-old body in a 46-year-old, I don't want to say vessel but a 46-year-old rapper, maybe. Like a rapper, not like a rapper, song rapper. You know what I'm saying, right?
Shell. Yeah. Yeah.
So speak to that more.
I cut out a lot of the distractions, the worldly stuff, right? So how I accumulated the dis-ease in my body called HPV that turned cancerous was by doing things that weren't good for me. They weren't healthy. I was a young mom. At age 17, I was pregnant, had my daughter at 18. So I'm a 46-year young gilf. Because I also have my daughter's 28 and my grandson is 10. And I was just doing all kinds of things to destroy my body. I was partying, I was drinking, I was sleeping around with whoever I wanted to. I had to make up for lost time when I left my daughter's dad to like meet these quotas that I missed out on life on, and then in that intoxication, I destroyed myself internally, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. This is not really what I wanted to do. I was just like driven by this thing in here that was like not in alignment, Mm-hmm. So that's how I destroyed my body. And when I was in my 20s and 30s, when that was happening, piled up on like anxiety from like childhood stress and trauma, just the whole mental, emotional, physical, sexual abuse, right? So then in my 30s, I took the yoga for myself and then to be a teacher. I thought I was taking it to teach people. I really took it for myself. Mm-hmm. You have to go through the steps first, and that's what really started healing me from the beginning. So then I felt in my 20s and 30s, I felt older than I do now. Now I feel like very young. Very young.
You look very young. You look very young.
I mean, okay. I was just doing kickboxing and jujitsu. It was my dream since I was like 14 or 15 years old. I seen this girl, her purse got jacked at a party by 3 gangsters, and her boyfriend chased them down, whooped all their butts, and got her purse back. And my boyfriend at the time, he told me that he was a black belt in jujitsu, the guy who beat him up. And I was like, I'm going to do jujitsu. So now, I was doing jujitsu. And then I got my grandson into it because I loved it, And And then he got 3 stripes, and he challenged me. He was like, "How many stripes do you have, Noni?" I was like, and I was like, "I didn't have any." So I had to get my butt in gear and go get some stripes, you know? So, you know, Rev says that the kids are born to raise us. They raise us. They make us better. So, yeah, that. And then I did a very high alkaline diet to rid of the HPV.
And tell us about that diet.
A person who
Go ahead and tell us about that diet.
A person used to be a pharmacist. Yeah, so my pH level was at a 16, and I think the normal average is 7. And then I was talking to this person who used to be a pharmacist and quit to pursue her passions. And I was like, I wonder what my pH level needs to be in order to get rid of HPV. And she just looked it up or whatever she did. And she was like, it needs to be a 4. So I was like, okay, 4 it is. Now, how do I do it? So I took something called Thank You Silver. I asked in my group, my landmark group, one of them, you know, we're just open and vulnerable because, you know, what you don't ask, you don't know.
Right.
And you have to, like, you're only as sick as your secrets. So I'm just like, okay, everything out, everything out, everything out. So the reason I'm so healthy is because everything is out. I don't have any secrets. Not one. Not one. And a little side note is that I'm creating like this grid of the body because the body tells a story. Like wherever the pain is, wherever the ailment is, whatever kind of pain it is, it's telling you something. And you have to tune in and be in alignment to listen or hear it. So back to the alkaline diet, high alkaline diet. Thank you, Silver. So I asked in this group, hey, who has had this and who can help? What did you do to get rid of it? I got a lot of feedback. Thank you, Silver is one of them. There's a gel that you can be inserted in vaginally. It's a high potent colloidal silver or something. Mm-hmm. So if you drink too much of it, you can turn purple and stay purple like those Oompa Loompa. That girl. Yeah. And purple's my favorite color, so I almost wanted to try it. See what would happen, but I didn't.
No.
I did a kale.
And you have to drink a lot of it to get like that.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to. You have to eat I ate kale salads with apple cider vinegar and marinated that so it was like not so, hard. I threw some Asian pears in it so that it would taste better. Mm-hmm. What else did I do? I listened to YouTube for 8 hours during my sleep with health affirmations about my body. So when you're sleeping, your unconscious or subconscious, is being trained as well. And all your little micro living organisms are like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So was that just because I do that with Sophia Joe's sounds at night, but do you wear the headphones or do you just have it playing on your laptop? Okay.
Away from my body so I don't get all the EMF, or less.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
just on my
beautiful.
phone or computer. Okay.
Great.
And then I have healers. I have healers that are stuck with me for life because they're the best. And, we did some sessions and they gave me feedback and then things to do. So there was that.
Love it.
And because I was doing it on my own, I knocked my gut out of balance. It went too low, right, to the 4. Then holistic nutritionist coaching me, and she helped me get my gut back into balance.
Okay. And how did she do that?
With the Candida cleanse. So no sugar for 30 days. No sugar, not even fruit for the first 10 days. And then this, what's it called? Scram to help get rid of the not pesticides. What are they called? Parasites.
Parasites, yes. Woo! You
Yeah,
said scram. I go, oh my
yeah.
God, is that like
It's a
something
pretty
that gets, it's pretty strong, you said?
yeah.
So that,
I want everyone to Google or YouTube what the parasites in your gut look like. You'll be very excited to know that there's living worms inside of you that can take over your mind, like literally. Like when we're craving stuff and the sugar, because they feed on the sugar and the junk. And people don't know this, they're not aware. But, people are just sitting there and eating more, and especially during the pandemic, also, right? Eating our feelings, our emotions. We're literally feeding the parasites and they're growing inside. And the people that kind of are just not present or aware and just kind of going through life with like horse blinders on have no idea that their life has been taken over by parasites living in the gut and like controlling them instead of themselves controlling themselves.
I heard that
YouTube
before.
parasites.
YouTube parasites. And no
Yeah.
screaming, folks.
YouTube what's in your colon.
It's
Yeah.
there.
You're
Oh
like,
my
oh,
God. Oh,
yeah.
yes. Okay. So,
But we need to know.
we need to know and we need to get rid of it.
We
So,
need to
okay.
know.
So she just told you about certain things that I just want to recap because you're going to be keep going. You've got some other things. So she talked about your diet. She talked about being in alignment with your body, your mind, your spirit. Nicole has also talked about, I mean, Noelle has also talked about like what you put in, if it's acid, if it's alkaline. She also talked about that she has several healers that she's working with. And so, and she's also talking about her yoga and her just her
Meditation.
mental fitness, your meditation and her mental fitness. So that's like 9 things. So, okay, so let's continue on this journey. So you've done and you've cleansed and you've got more. Go ahead.
So I do a candida cleanse almost every quarter,
Oh,
And
wow.
I've been kind of like a little easy on myself. Um, because actually I was thinking, I don't drink. I don't drink that much. Well, I don't drink now at all because there's a little bun in here. But I wasn't when I was drinking and partying in my 20s and 30s. I was drinking like a half a gallon of like Captain Morgan with Coke to myself like every weekend. And what I learned is that weekend warriors are worse off than steady drinkers throughout the week. Because the reason being is like you're clean the entire week and then you over intoxicate like on a weekend. Double force instead of like a steady, go.
Wow.
Yeah. I would have never thought of that.
I
So,
didn't either because people think that's sort of the moderation and that it's okay because you're not doing it consistently.
mhm. You think it
Okay.
might be better because it's like, I don't do it so often, only on the weekends. It's a little worse. Could be worse, depending on how much, you know. Um,
Okay.
yeah. There was something else I was going to say. Writing, journaling is good. First thing in the morning, get it out. Whatever's in your brain, like it. People think like journaling has to be like done a certain way. It doesn't. You just have to write, get shit out, get it out, get it out, get it out. Whatever's there, get it out. And when you're sitting there and you're kind of focused, you're like, what do I write about? You'll start, hopefully, to hear the thoughts in your brain. It's like, oh, I didn't even know that was there. I didn't know that was there. Oh my God, where'd that come from? You know? And those are the things that we're not aware of that are recycling all the time. And I just tell this is how everybody can kind of understand. Because most people know what adrenaline is, right?
Right.
It's the fight or flight. So there's a situation happening, or there's a situation you're just thinking about happening, because it doesn't have to be right in front of your face, but
Mhm.
adrenaline is shooting the chemicals into the body, right? Your brain shoots the adrenaline, and then you have to get it out by fighting or flighting, right? You have to exert it. But a lot of us are thinking about things and stimulating chemicals all day without even being aware of it. So those chemicals are shooting into the body and going and not being exerted because we're sitting in an office at a desk. We're not exercising. We're not getting it out. We're not journaling. It just gets stuck. And now we're clogged.
Right. So I was told, or I've heard, that 5 minutes of yelling, screaming, being in that can, those hormones or chemicals could stay in your body over 5 hours. So is that sort of like what you're talking about right now?
It depends, because it depends on what you're yelling and screaming.
Huh? Well, most people aren't you. They're not saying, "Oh yes, thank you, Jesus. Ooh, this is so
Yeah.
good." No, they're saying other stuff that's
Yeah.
not so nice.
It depends. Yeah. So it depends. My grandson, like, he'll be like mad and angry, and his posture is like this, and I'm like, just become aware of yourself. Like, look, does that feel good in your body right now? And then he's like, he'll just shake it off really quick because he's 10. He hasn't been programmed as long as adults have, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, it depends on what your context is that you're yelling. You could be yelling affirmations, you know, like positive ones, and training your microorganisms, or you could be yelling bad things and, you know, then see the evidence of that. But and going back to those chemicals that are stuck in the body, is that's where I'm getting the body chart from. Is because, like, when I work on people who have issues in their hands and arms, this is like a scale. This is the fingers is like a 1, and then to the point of insertion is like a 10. So the hands are what control things in life. We want to control people, a car, a remote, you know, we want to make people our puppets. We want them to do this way. So when we have a issue in our hands or arms, my body is telling me that I want to control somebody, and really we only have control over ourselves. So I need to change my thought.
Wow. Okay. Beautiful. Keep
And then
going.
the legs and feet are what move us forward. So same thing, from the toe is a scale of 1 to the point of insertion of the hip is like a 10. And the feet are what move us forward in life, right? So usually when people have a foot, leg, thigh injury, there's a fear of moving forward, either with a self or with somebody or something. And then the way the left side of the body is feminine and the right side of the body is masculine. So if I have an issue in my right side, it's with a male. Usually, if I have an issue in my left side, it's with a female, and it could be myself.
Oh my God. Okay. Female, and it could be yourself. I've never heard it like that before. Interesting. Thank you.
So I'll just give you a little example. One day there was this couple from Germany called me for a massage on this app, and I went, and the husband or the guy opens the door, and he was like, "The patient is in the back." And I was like, "Okay, I'm a doctor. That's cool." So he takes me to the back room, and she sits up in the bed, and she was like, "I don't know what happened. I just turned my head, and I have this awful pain in my neck." And I'm in the doorway with the guy, and I was like, "Is it him?" And there was an awkward silence for a minute. and then they kind of laughed, and I was like, "Oh crap." You know, so he took the kids to, I don't know, wherever, so we can have our session. And not even 10 minutes into our session, she's like, "You know, I thought I was doing really well. Like, we're not together. We planned this trip a long time ago. I chose to come for the girls, and, you know, it's just not working out." And I was like, it was him. He's the pain in the neck. Or her thoughts about him, you know.
Right.
He's not.
And they went on a trip together, and she didn't want to.
Yeah. She didn't really want to, but they had planned it before they broke up. and then they did it for the kids, you know. So, yeah, when women, a lot of women have issues in the bladder area or the reproductive area, right? And a lot of women are get pissed off at men. Pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Right? So it's the piss area.
UTI.
And that's where a lot of stuff comes from. Those chemicals of like being pissed go into the piss area. Yeah.
Ooh,
It's
interesting.
very interesting. It is.
I'm like going, yeah, we have to watch our words. We have to, or like you said, words are our wand. I say that all the time. You really need to go with your first gut thought. Like she already knew, even though they pay, and it's a lot because women are like, oh, we paid for this. Oh, we planned this before we broke up. Oh, I must do this for the girls. Oh, I got to take it for the team. And then I'm not cancel, delete. Then when the pain and the disease and the discomfort happens, we're going,
Yeah.
well, I don't know what happened.
Well, see, also, it's not the other person. It's our thought about the situation. It's our thoughts about the other person. It's our thoughts that are shooting the chemicals into our body. They're not doing anything. We're just making up all kinds of shit in our head that's going into the body.
You hear that, folks? You hear
Yeah,
that?
insane. So, a lot of education I've had, call it unlearning, right? So, like when my grandson was going to kindergarten or whatever, he'd come home and they had this red, what's it called? What are the stop signals? Red, yellow, green.
Right.
Colors if you're doing something wrong or bad. So he gets a yellow card and he comes home and he's like all slumped down. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he was like, I got a yellow card. I'm like, what does that mean? And he was like, this because doing something bad, right? And I was like, this is just what happened, and it doesn't, this is just a color. It's a yellow. It doesn't mean anything about you. It's just a color. And he was like, okay, he was free and he went to go play. So then second time it happened a little bit later. He's not a really, he doesn't do like really bad things, but second time it happened, he came home and he was like, again. And I was like, what's going on? He was like, I got another yellow card. I was like, what did I tell you about it? He was like, it's just a color. It doesn't mean anything about me. I was like, that's right. So every time Noni gets a chance with him, call it Noni time, we are unlearning what the world, poisons the brain with.
Right.
So,
And they are lucky to have you. And we are in this world to really, my kids would say, oh my God, my mom is just like you, like Miss Noelle, because you've learned a certain way. I've learned a certain way that all of this stuff that the world puts on you, you could either let it go and come in and seep into everything on your body, whatever they say about you, whatever color,
yeah,
good, bad, or indifferent, and then you let it, and then you become it if it's not serving you. And then you could say, well, you know what? I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that yellow card. I'm not accepting that thought. I'm not accepting what that person says. I'm not accepting that music. I'm not. And then you just walk through. To me, I just like to just say, oh, okay, huh. And then I keep going. So I see you doing that. But for me, I know why I do this. What changed in you to make you decide, okay, this is the life that I'm leading? And does it have to be from, you went to Agape and you're taking Landmark?
No. It really got to a point where up until still, like recently, like the Mexican side of my family, a lot of maybe Mexican people I think can reside with this. There's a lot of alcoholics. I come from a family of alcoholism. And my grandparents, my Mexican grandparents, they had 9 kids, and 4 of them died before they did. And so 2 of them died from uh, H, what did they die from? Hepatitis C, cirrhosis of the liver from heroin use. Uh, one of them died from
Wow.
the AIDS pandemic.
I'm sorry.
It's not funny, but the reason why one of the reasons why I was not so scared during the pandemic is because I literally watched my grandmother bathe and touch all of my uncles, whatever they said not to, right? The saliva, the blood, we were just supposed to like stay away, kind of like this one, just stay away. I watched her touch everything of his and clean him and take care of him until he died. So I was like, whatever they said is not true. She didn't get it. You know what I mean? She didn't get AIDS. So, and then one baby died in my grandma's arms in a taxi cab on the way to the hospital. So there, it was said in our family that there was a curse on our family, and maybe some people believe it and then allowed it to like sink into their skin and whatever. And then that happened. And I was like, well, I don't believe it. I'm just not going to listen to that. I'm going to think my own way, or, you know. But when you're born into something like that, unless you're shown or look for a way out, it's not likely to see another perspective, you know. I was born into that family, and then I was born into the other side of my family with the education, the owning the homes, the couple of marriages, you know, the white picket fence. And so I consider myself like a bridge, you know, like I experienced the best of both worlds. And then I had my grandson.
Right. So you know
So
what I call that? That's sort of like your version of the rich dad, poor dad versus you. You, I don't know what we would call it for rich mom, poor mom. I don't know. But it's sort of like that. You got to experience both halves and then you chose.
I had a good balance. And then I just chose alignment. I just looked at my grandson, and then in all these education programs and things that I continued to seek, I guess, and learn from, just gave me a whole new perspective on now I'm creating a legacy for my grandson. Things I never, ever saw in my future are happening, like now, all the time, always, and quickly.
Okay, so let's talk about like like you still have a uterus, so therefore you're carrying a baby, and like how you probably you still have like your thyroid and all the things that you have still on your body, like can
Nothing's been taken out perfectly. Everything's perfectly functioning.
okay. So I love that. And then what I don't love is that the wellness practitioner or doctor or whoever you went said
Yeah.
that 30-year-olds, ladies, 30-year-olds, do you hear this? 30-year-olds
Mm-hmm.
are falling apart,
Mm-hmm.
or that they don't have all their organs, or they can't get pregnant, or they got all kinds of things going on in their women is, you know, their women organs. And so what do you want to say to that? Because I know
Stop
you
putting
beat a lot of stuff.
things. Stop putting things on. Whatever, your body is your temple, and however you treat it is however it's going to result, I guess. I don't even use lotion. I use coconut oil. I use coconut oil on my clients. Like the lotion has chemicals, deodorant has chemicals, the food we eat has chemicals, shampoo has chemicals, and then shampoo and conditioner have chemicals. And then if you're taking a hot shower, your skin is absorbing all those chemicals from head to toe. And in the hot water, your pores are open, so it's absorbing even better those chemicals. When I went into the operating room, they said, don't don't wear any lotions or any perfumes, anything, no chemicals that day. And I was like, I don't wear those anyway. And I was like, wow, that's probably why I'm so healthy. 'Cause-
And you're right. They don't tell you this. Like you go in to get something and the doctors are telling you not to do blah, blah, blah. No chemicals. Don't wear this. Don't wear that. I remember distinctly sitting with my mom, God bless her, God rest her soul, when she was coming home from the cancer oncology office. And he said, no cleaning products, no, the C, and I won't say it because I don't want to have them calling my house, but don't use the C product that you know that everybody uses to clean. Don't use the P product that everybody uses and cleans. He was saying that if you use anything, make sure it's natural. And back then, that was like 30 years ago. So it was really hard unless you were using baking soda or maybe uh, apple cider vinegar, maybe ammonia. I don't think we could even use that. You had to have the windows open and everything because when you have cancers, you're not supposed to breathe any of those toxins. And I thought, but wait, we've been using all this stuff our whole life, right?
yeah. Look what's happening with Johnson and Johnson. I mean, I can say it. They're in a lawsuit. They have a lot of women with cervical cancer from the powder. You don't know what's in chemicals. We don't know. Like, I didn't know what was in that shot that everybody got, or a lot of people got. And who knows what's going to happen later, you know? Time reveals.
Well, we'll know.
And it's not instant.
Right.
I was donating blood. I tried to donate blood to the Red Cross or something, and they have this extensive questionnaire. And one of the questions said, were any of your parents in the military from this year to this year? I don't remember the years, but I text my dad and I was like, hey, were you in the military in these years? Because I know he was in the Navy. And he said yes. And then I was not allowed to donate blood. So
when was this?
Whatever
was this recent?
he experienced. This was when I was at Agape.
Oh, okay.
So kind of recent, within the last 10-ish years or something. But whatever my dad experienced is not even me. But since he was my dad, I can't even donate blood because whatever he went through could be in me. So there's a lot of stuff out there that we don't know.
We don't know. We don't even know what's in the water. And look at you. She's all like, look at me. I got beautiful skin, my hair. I'm all sexy. Look at those boobs.
I want to request that if you know somebody, or if you are somebody who could give me an undercut and probably a nice shave with maybe like a flower like this underneath or something, donating my hair to Locks of Love, which I do every so often. So they have a lot of hair. So that's one of my things I'm looking for.
Lots of hair, lots of skin. So, okay. Now, we've been talking now for 53 minutes. I could talk to you for 53 years. I can't wait. So listen, ladies, she's 46, having baby, 4 weeks, 6 days in, beautiful skin, beautiful hair, has healed things all through her mind, her body, her experience. Body younger than a 30-year-old. She does these events that keeps her strong. She does mindfulness practice. She has yoga. She eats properly. She eats probably organically. You eat, I don't know, how much raw do you eat?
I eat whatever I want. I just have really good vibes about it.
And now that you're
into my food, I get my meat from a rancher, no antibiotics, no nitrates. You can't, those are all the extra hormones, the things that we were talking about earlier that the women are experiencing in their bodies, and all those animal, not even just animal hormones, it's the added stuff that makes them fat. It also makes us fat, and then also has an impact or an effect on our bodies. So a lot of people just think that because it says FDA or it says natural, like that is something good. It's not necessarily so. That's all I have to say. You have
Right.
to, and then, ignorance is not bliss. We have the age of the internet, and there's an abundance of all kinds of information. Like when this whole political thing is going on, like I I joined groups for both sides because I want to know what both sides are like and saying and this and that. I'm not like just going to be on this side. I want to educate myself all around, you know. So it's just frustrating. I went to my doctor, not my doctor, a sub doctor, and then she was like really trying to push the COVID vaccine on me, and I was like, no. She was like, you need the vaccine. I was like, no, I don't need it. And she was like, you need to get it because blah 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 blah. And I was like, I don't need to, and I'm not going to. And she just kept going, and I was like, look, lady, I had HPV that was cancerous for over 15 years, and it took me like all that time to get to a negative, and I healed it myself with other people. So no, you don't get to tell me what I am supposed to do or have to do. And not a lot of people can advocate for themselves like that.
Right. And we must, or you will have no uteruses to hold babies. You'll have no thyroids. You'll have no this, that, and yet. And we're not telling you not to do these things. I'm speaking to intuitively really linking into your own spirit, your own body, figuring out, oh, this doesn't feel right, like she says, this doesn't feel right. Oh, maybe I need a different doctor. Maybe I need a new opinion. Maybe I need to see what it says first in the paperwork that they don't hand you. Maybe you need to ask them for that paperwork. Like, what does that mean? What does this mean? When they say sometimes, oh, you're in the normal realm. Well, is that the normal realm for who? You need to know your numbers, how it is affect what
Sure.
it is. You need to know all this stuff.
You
And
can't
then
go to a doctor and then just listen.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Somebody came to me and said the doctor said their baby was overweight, and I was like, according to what scale? The white people scale? Is it when you go to a clothing store and there's like clothes made by Japanese and it says size small and it's like an extra extra small, or a large is like a medium, and I'm just like, what scale? Because we have little Asian people and we have big Samoan people, and like, are they all on the same scale?
No.
We're not. And all these nationalities and blood types and this and that, there is no one scale.
And it has to be right for you. And you feel it and you know it. You know it. I believe that we all have this inner knowing. And you know what? God forgive me. My mom said something like she felt like things were done to her without her will from people. And I'm not going to say who, but she felt like things were done to her against her will while she was in these places. And then when I found out my sisters were still going to the same person, I was like, how could you go there? How could you go to that same person that didn't take care of mom the way I thought she should have been taken care of? Because you know what? Back in the day,
in toxic relationships,
we all went to the same doctors. Like, oh, the family all goes to Mr. Dr. Johnson because Dr. Johnson was our doctor for the whole family. Well, we live in a different age now. Like you said, you have healers for different things. And maybe your general practitioner is not the same as your coochie doctor. I just say coochie, but you know what I mean. You have to make sure that the person that's in charge of that you want to help you with your body is in alignment with you and in alignment with your spirit, as you would say, or as I would say, to help you get the things that you need so that you can be well. Right?
Yeah, that you're in alignment with. You have to vibe with them. Just how you find your hair person, your nail person, your barber, whatever, your massage therapist, you have to vibe with that person. You're not going to keep going back to somebody you don't like.
But people do it.
Doesn't do the job you want.
Right. Well, but I know people do. And so
we suffer, we like until we'll be sick and tired until we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that's what everybody has to learn on their own journey at their own time. And, you know,
Right. And she's right about that. And to listen to your own self. And if you are somewhere in somebody's office and the vibe really comes at you, you need to determine, hmm, what am I feeling? And is this feeling right? And if it's not right, then you need to leave. And I will leave us with that because I was sitting in a dental chair getting work done in an office that I liked. And then all of a sudden, I hear Fast and Furious. I go, what the heck? And this young, and I guess what do you call it, anesthetist, whatever the person is that gives you the Novocaine. Never seen him
anesthesia.
before.
Mm-hmm.
Anesthesia. I never seen him before at that dental office. I had been going there for years.
Oh
He
my
came
God.
in. I smelt his cologne. The next thing I know, he goes, okay, ma'am, we're going to blah, blah, blah. And he shot something in my jaw. Girl, I was having a baby. I got whatever he gave me affected me in such a way that I was back delivering my child 20 years ago. Okay. So, but you know what happened? The angels told me he was coming. They said, fast and furious. You need to set your mind for something that's going to happen. I could have said, oh, what is that? And not thought anything. While I was in that experience, I said, oh my God, I need to have water and I need to press the buzzer. And when I did that, someone else came and said something to me. And I was like, I don't know what happened, but that guy gave me something that I was allergic to. And I could have died. I could have died at the dental office. And so I believe that, like you said, if we are somewhere and the vibe is not right, because I should have said, oh my God, Fast and Furious, something's going to happen, and I better not take that shot. But I didn't. I was just like, what is that? So it's serious, and
Sometimes we don't know.
yeah. So anyway, we're gonna end this with that. Just listen to yourself and take yourself seriously. And then Miss Noelle is gonna tell us about what she's given away, how you're gonna reach her, and she's gonna tell us about this book, 4 weeks and 6 days. and how we all
Well,
can have babies at
I'm going to tell you
46.
about the book first. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. You just have to know it. The book that I'm writing is called A Healer's Hypothesis. 4 weeks and 6 days is probably another book. I'm just really quick. I have been looking for a ghostwriter for a while, somebody to write my book, and I was like, can somebody just read my thoughts and whatever. So a long time ago, then I put the book on hold or whatever because I was like, forget it, I can't find anybody. Then my brother was murdered on April Fool's Day, which haha, he's hilarious. They used to call him Batman. They called him Batman, and I found this on the curb. I'm gonna put on my desk. And he's been talking to me. I'm closer to his spirit now than I was to him in real life. Well, as an adult, I was close to him when he was a baby until I left the household. But at his service, I had this encounter with a bird, and then I wrote a poem about it, and then I wrote another poem about him. And so I read 2 poems. I wrote 2 poems and read 2 poems at his service. And then I was thinking, so my brother's death has inspired me to write my book in poetry, which I used to love to do as a child. And then, sometimes our dreams get broken and we stop doing what we love. So A Healer's Hypothesis is coming out, and it's going to be written in poetry because I don't like reading. I like it when it's fun. I love to read Dr. Seuss, because it's fun and engaging. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you, my brother, for inspiring me. And so The big spin giveaway is one lucky person will win an energy session, an energy healing session from me. So it could be done here close or long distance. I've done that before. And what else?
I don't know. I want people to follow you on your journey now too. So,
Oh, my information.
yeah.
So for wellness consulting is what I am doing. Wellness, whether whatever's not working or efficiently or effectively in your life, we'll discover what's in the way, allow it to dissipate, and then create and manifest from there. So you can reach me by calling me or texting me directly at 310-350-5928. At a healer's hypothesis is my Instagram, as well as my email address at gmail.com. A healer's hypothesis at gmail.com. What else?
Can you tell them, do you want to talk, do you want to say anything about you being a surrogate? Anything more?
Mm, just that I'm also going to write a book about that. Manifested it, created it, whatever you want in life, it's possible. That's what I'll say.
Wow. That's more like, you know what I keep hearing? The manifestor's dream. I don't know if that's a book, but that sounds like you. She's like the manifestor's dream. She will help you figure that out. Oh, I got tingles all over my whole body. Well, all I want to do is this. I'm just sending you love. And I'm so excited for you. I cried when I heard that you were expecting, and it's such a beauty and it's such a joy. And oh my God, you're going to be.
I wanted
can't
to
wait
say
to.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
When you were talking about the people who, when we're somewhere and we need to like tune in, our body's telling us something, something's not right. Our body, the dis-ease.
Yes.
That's sometimes we don't know how to listen to ourselves or what our body is saying. Sometimes we can't get present to that or no, but that we just feel a pain or an ailment or something not right. And that's what I can assist you with in the wellness consulting. So if you're not knowing how or have lost like how to listen to your intuition or your gut instinct or things like that, is what I can help you with.
I think I'm calling her. And then on the other thing, I have this little tear. She looks so much like a little 19-year-old now. I mean, you look like you're 19. And I love it. I just like her giggle. Ladies, don't you love your little giggle and your little, like, she plays? I see you. I see you online giggling, playing. And we deserve that as women to continue with that through the years. It shouldn't be something that we leave behind. It's a part of who we are, unless you were never someone who giggled or played. And so I just love how you showed up today. I love how you are showing us all the different stages of Noelle, and that it's possible for every woman to be in the joy and the giggle of all the different stages.
Yeah.
I just got like, ooh. So, yeah, we're
That's
gonna,
how we
we're
were when
gonna,
we first met, I was like, who is this like happy, giggly girl with me? That's how we just hit it off and we were having a good old time at some workshop or seminar or something. Yeah.
swim. I know, and I met you at Agape, and when you were talking about, oh yeah, those 6 a.m. days to 6 p.m. days,
Yeah.
because I lived in La Crescenta at the time, and it was Culver City, and my kids will tell you, Mom used to drive us to Agape, and we would stay there all day long. Like they were like, that's an all-day trip. The dance circles after the drums. It was always the meditation. I'm going to get back into that. I'm going to, it's just, oh my God. Just seeing you just brings joy to my heart. And you know what, everybody, she's bringing joy to your heart because this is how it starts. Make the decision that you deserve all the wellness, all the giggles, all the
Yeah.
joy. You deserve that. You deserve everything that you want. That's, you deserve to manifest that in a healthy being body.
Do we have to end right now? Because I have so much more to say.
I know. We need to do another show. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the stuff that I have to still do. I know there's many shows in you. I really wish that, and I would love to, I'm going to support you in your author journey. And I really would love to support you and I want to find some other people that are your age, that are all having babies. And people, it can be done. My baby, my son, who's 19, I birthed him at 46 and I conceived him when I was 45. Anyway, that will tell you how old I am. So, you know what? I know people, I don't want people to get angry. I just want you to understand that I sit at the little kids' table. It's like when, you know how they have it, when, the adults sit at this table and then the kiddies are over here. I always found in myself wanting to be surrounded at the kiddie table. And that's the way I am in life, because I found that being in that was always more welcoming, more opening, more allowing. And like you said, oh, you would tell them something, they would be in a crazy moment, and then all of a sudden it's gone. They would fall and hurt themselves, and then they're like, 2 seconds later, mama kissed my boo-boo, and they were fine. And then as adults at the adult table, you're like in it 20 years later, my knee 20 years old, 20 years ago, I hit my knee. I'm like, you're still there? So anyway, my love, I'm going to let you go.
We better stop because I can keep going.
Yes. All right. Well, and we were at 1111, but we're not anymore. So just
I saw it too. I saw it.
Leave us with one last thing. Just leave us with something. I don't care if it's a little meditational prayer, whatever. Just leave us in your voice.
Oh, I was just gonna leave with one actually.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do, just take one step, one action. Do one thing at a time. If you want to lose weight, eliminate one thing. Just start with one. And when you get into a rhythm with that program, then eliminate another or add another, whatever you're working towards. Okay. Start with one, get into a routine, and then add or delete another one. Okay. Just call me for a consult, and then we'll just handle it like that.
She will handle it. Tell them your phone number one more time.
310-350-5928.
Oh my God. Look at you. Oh my God. I'm sending you love. Okay, people, all you listeners out there, replayers, call Noelle because she is the real deal. She's got a lot of things she can help you with. And you ladies that are thinking about having a baby in the later part, she's got it down. She's going through it right now. She would really help you with that too. So, I just want to say,
never let anyone tell you what you can and can't do.
Right.
Make that choice for yourself. That's it. Thank you, Wilda, for being the most amazing, miraculous woman in the world, supporting all these other wonderful women and healers, and just bringing all this knowledge and things to, people maybe for the first time.
Yes, thank you. And I love it.
Great contribution to everyone.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye. Thank you. Watch the replay. Watch her over and over.